Welcome to the Fitness Mindset Podcast. Amanda Micallef here, helping people like you overcome life's setbacks to help you achieve your fitness, career, and life goals. This podcast has been proudly sponsored by my coaching practice, Divine Physiques Coaching, as well as Kyani and the Triangle of Health. To find out more about coaching with myself or more about Kyani and their incredible products, please shoot me an email. Link is in the description below. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode, and I hope you enjoy the content. Guys, welcome back to the Fitness Mindset Podcast. This is episode number 38. Been working diligently in hotel quarantine, smashing out more podcasts in 1 week than I have in 5 months. But today I've got a very special guest by the name of Kate Herford. Kate, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
Awesome. So you're a busy lady. So you're a business coach and a mum of 5 living in the beautiful sands and beaches of Torquay, living a very healthy lifestyle there. So that's excellent.
Yes. It's certainly keeping me busy. We've got 4 teenage kids, my partner and I. So I only birthed 2 of the kids, but I picked up 3 full-time step kids when I partnered with Burnsy. Beautiful. So we've been trying to channel the kids' energies while they've been in quarantine. So yeah.
How's that working for you?
Oh, God, like any parent. There are good days and there are not so good days, you know how it goes. But being teenagers, they've been pretty self-sufficient. So, yeah.
So what are the ages of the kids?
We've got an 11-year-old, 2 14 and 2 16-year-olds. So not twins, just different parents. So, yeah.
Yeah, you would have your hands full, no doubt at all.
Yeah.
So tell us about your business coaching. How long have you been doing that for now?
Well, I've been in the space with coaching mums to start up their own businesses for about 12 months now. Mm-hmm. I had looked at working in the stepmom space, so I'd gone down that path because it's so needed. But I didn't gel with it. It wasn't for me in that space. So I'm quite a positive person, and I found that it's a really difficult area being a stepmom unless you're doing some personal development. And so I just went, I want to help mums to create an income and start in business, whatever it is. So I went, well, that's where I need to be. And, 12 months, and I'm just about to launch a free webinar. I've been working crazy with trying to put all of that together and, really help mums to get through that first 12-month startup period and getting some income coming through in their business. So it's lots of fun. Love it.
Great. So it doesn't matter what industry these people are in at all?
No, look, I've connected with a range of mums, from one girl's doing early childhood education in the Philippines. She's local here to me, but she's from the Philippines and, she's building a program in the Philippines for their expats. I've got another mum coach who teaches parenting skills for children, authors, florist, an artist, so it's all sorts of things. And I think that it's great because each person has their own personality, and I do encourage them to have different income streams, not just the one business one. So it's lots of fun, and I love seeing them achieve and grow.
Fantastic. So we've had a little bit of a chat offline, and I'm still to learn so much about you, and this is what we're going to do today. But tell us about your major accident that you had. So what happened there?
Okay, so I'm going to show my age. Oh, I don't know if that's a good thing. Look, back in the early 80s. No, it was late 80s. I was hit by a car when I was riding my push bike, and I'd been training for a triathlon, so I was pretty fit, and came off the hill in Richmond, and a car failed to give way to me, and I ploughed into it. And at the time, I didn't have any major injuries. I was just really, really bruised. And over the years, over a period of 28 years, I just, I got to the point where I couldn't really move freely. I'd had 2 big babies, and by the end of the pregnancies, I couldn't walk properly, having lots of physio, osteo treatments, because I just found my back and my shoulders and my neck, I could not move properly. I couldn't even play with my kids.
Yeah.
And when I had my boys, I had to have pillows and breastfeed with support. And I managed that for 12 months for each of them. But I basically had chronic pain, and it really limited what I could do, how I could get out and about. And, I wasn't able to really play with my kids. Come play, Mum. And it's like, yeah, I'll watch. It was quite debilitating over a period of time. Even though the initial impact, I didn't break anything, it was all the muscular, just over time, the muscles and the support system wasn't there.
Sure. So how did you overcome that chronic pain?
Okay, so...
Experience any pain at all?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you still experience any pain sort of at all?
Not like I did. Like, there's times, especially now, over the last few months, where we've been sitting at home and being in home business, you sit for too long, everyone gets sore, and that's what I experience now. But what happened, I tried all sorts of stuff. I was having osteo every 3 months, every 3 to 4 weeks, just to try and put things back in place. I tried needling. And, you take some supplements, those big horse pills that you couldn't even swallow, and you never really knew whether it was going to do any good.
Sure.
And over time, I'd spent quite a bit of money on that stuff. And then a girlfriend rang me and said, oh, you got to try this. And I went, yeah, whatever, really skeptical. But I knew her, and I thought, well, if she's got results, I'll give it a go. And so I tried new health product that I'd never heard of before. And 6 weeks later, I jumped out of bed because the dog went crazy. And it actually stood me. I jumped out of bed and went, oh my God, I just jumped out of bed. Because for me to even roll over, it was a process that would take me a couple of minutes. And within 6 weeks, I just went, oh my God, yay, I can move. Really, really incredible results.
Sure thing. And obviously what we're talking about here is we're talking about Kyani. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
So did you just start taking the triangle of health, so just the 3 products to start with?
That's it, yep, exactly. I was really diligent with it. Now, in those first 6 weeks, I have food intolerances. And so I just went, look, I'm going to try I wasn't sure about the sunrise. I thought, but I'll give it a go. And it didn't suit my intolerances. But what I thought was I'd done enough research, and I went, this product, I want to give it a really good go. So I actually weaned myself onto it. I sort of worked out a regime where I'd have half a sachet every second day for a couple of weeks, and then I did it every day. And then I sort of went a full sachet one day, a half sachet the next. And within that 6 weeks, I'd sort of weaned myself onto the full triangle. And I'm still on it. Now, I must say that earlier this year, just with finances, we had to buy computers for a couple of the kids. And I did go off it for about 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Felt terrible?
I wish I never did. Look, I just noticed, and I guess for me being over 50, it was the hormonal response that just, 3 months off it, and I'm now just getting back onto a level playing field. So it wasn't just the inflammation, there was a whole lot of other things that it did for me. And I know how good it is because I went off it and I've suffered.
Interesting. So when you came off it, what did you feel?
Okay, am I allowed to swear?
Go for it.
Hormonal moody bitch came back.
Yep.
Yeah, I really suffered mood swings, and I think with COVID as well, everyone was feeling emotional as well, but I really noticed I had all my symptoms back, the sore back, the insomnia, the crankiness, and my kids, they know when mum's in that mood and she gives that look. They disappear, and the other step kids would go, "What's going on?" And they wore the wrath of me when I wasn't myself. So,
Sure.
and also I've got Raynaud's disease, which is numbing of the extremities, and there's a couple of fingers that turn purple and get really painful, and of course that came back as well. So there's lots of little things that you notice.
Yeah, right. Okay. Is that sort of similar to chilblains?
Sort of, I think. Yeah, and it comes and goes. And I'd actually realised that 12 months after I started the product that I hadn't been having these episodes. Basically, I've got a couple of fingers. If it touches something cold, it'll go white, it'll go numb, it'll hurt like hell, it'll go blue, and it basically loses circulation. And I'd worked that out. And then I went to a conference where they actually said, and they put it up on the screen, that this is one of the benefits. I went, heck yes, it is.
How good's that? And this being a Kyani conference?
Yeah. Yep. Ooh. So I learned a lot more about the products going to the conferences, as you do. Yeah. And it was like, yes, I'm one of those people that really helps. And it's something that I've recommended to a few people. And when you say that you've got it, they go, "Oh, really? Oh, it's so painful." And it's like, but this is what I use, and it really does help with the circulation. So, yeah.
So have you built a successful Kyani business now as a result of having such a good outcome with the products? Like, how active are you sort of in this space with the business?
At the moment, I'm not active at all, and that's because I'm looking at building my other business and looking at coaching online and building the products. Now, when we were really active, we were making customer pull regularly. My partner and I, we were, really good at obtaining customers. Building a team wasn't our forte. I have to admit that. But, from a customer point of view, we've had a number of them. And, even today I've got my mum and dad are still on the product, even though the old man, bloody shit, doesn't work, how they are. But he still takes it. And I think with all his health problems at 85, it's probably what has helped him stay alive this long with everything that's gone on. Yeah, and another friend...
Not that he'll admit that.
Oh, God, no. Oh, absolutely not. I won't repeat the sort of things he says, but, Mum puts it out and he takes it. And having had a thyroid issue, they were surprised he was still alive once they operated, that they just, we don't actually understand how you're actually alive. And it's like, I do, because I know that it's helped him in that respect as well.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Okay, great. So, all right, well, that's really good. It's all really interesting. I'm interested to know now, and we're probably not sort of qualified in this space, but we're just two people having a discussion about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever recommended the product to anyone that was going through menopause at all?
I've spoken to people about it because I haven't been as active in the last couple of years with it. I know from a menopause point of view, I'm 53, and I know that for me, I was definitely having all the monthly symptoms and everything. And from a menopause point of view, and my partner and my kids will certainly support this, I'm better on the products. I'm not moody. For me, it was the insomnia. moodiness and, libido, all that sort of stuff. So being on the products, I think as we get older, we go one or two ways. One, we either take care of ourselves more or we let ourselves go. And I think to be able to move and feel good and participate in life, I actually recommend supplementation because our food supply isn't what it used to be. I've been around for, a couple of decades and, the food doesn't taste like it did when I was a kid. So I think because we're so busy and we're not concentrating a lot of the time on what we eat, that supplementing, if your body doesn't need it, it will get rid of it. So by supplementing, I think it's really beneficial for your body from the inside, and it's something that I will continue to do for the rest of my life, just because I think I know, even as healthy as I can eat, that I'm not getting what I need.
I agree with you, Kate, because I have been eating really well consistently, I would say, for the better part of 12 years. I've always liked healthy eating, but when you're in your early 20s, you go out, you party, you have unhealthy life choices and what have you. But since taking up a proper fitness routine at about the age of 23, I really took nutrition seriously. But even still, before I was taking Kyani, I was still getting crashes and mental fog. My sleep patterns were good, but they could have always been better. I've definitely seen how these supplements have filled the gaps in that sense. Like immunity is much better, recovery with fitness is great. Everything just feels and functions a lot nicer than what it did before. So, and that's obviously coming back to that soil depletion, that nutrient depletion from the soil. So even though things look great, and yes, we're eating whole food, not by choice of our own, it is depleted. It's actually nutrient depleted. So
and I think what this product did for me, I used to play hockey going through university and in my 20s. And I actually didn't play for, how long was it? It was probably I think it was 18 years. Okay. So at 48, I took up playing hockey again. And I do get white line fever, but I was playing with, kids in their 20s. And some of them were even 15, 16. And using the extreme, I was running rings around them on the pitch. I was able to not only participate, to have the energy to last the whole game. I rarely came off. I hated being substituted. And when I looked at what they were doing, I'd be running past a couple of these kids going, come on, I could be your mother, catch up. So I think, some of them appreciated them, some of it didn't. But I think I could not believe.
How did that feel?
I couldn't believe I felt so good. Yeah.
And that's the thing is, I feel like with something like this, you're never too old to start either.
No. Yeah, I think a friend of my mum's still taking the product. She's in her 90s. She's a Japanese lady, still takes the product diligently. My mum and dad, they're in their 80s, so they started taking it. They would have been, mum was 78 and dad was 80. And with all of their health problems, I know the difference it's made for them and being able to cope with life. Yeah.
How long have they been on the product for now?
Same time as me. So I think I started, it was 2016. March 2016, I think I started taking the product. So they've been taking it that long as well, because I just went, you got to take this stuff. Here you go. Give me your credit card and off we go.
Beautiful. And I mean, because obviously like there's things like diabetes and all sorts of issues. Like I saw it with my own grandparents, and I wish I had something like this for them when they were still alive. If it was introduced to me a lot sooner. But have you noticed any issues that they might have had, health issues that have slowly either really, not maintained, but either gotten better, disappeared? Did they have health issues prior to taking Kyani?
Yeah, look, Dad was he's had a couple of heart attacks. And, when I sort of introduced it to him, he goes, I'm not taking this bloody stuff. You're not a doctor. And, when he'd wheel out this medication and he goes, I'm not taking that. Anyway, Mum took the documentation down to the doctor, and he just said, go to the pharmacist. And the pharmacist was able to say, yes, he needs to take it. It'll work really well with the medication that he's on. And, with his health problems, he's had numerous health problems. I've been able to see that he's slowed down naturally. However, it's not as much as what he was going downhill before he started taking it. And I know that my mum, she had a hip problem and had to have a hip replacement. So right up until, the last 6 months before she had that operation, just the product, she wasn't taking any pain medication at all. But when it got to a point in public health system having to wait, she did have to go back onto some pain medication. But she was a couple of years without that pain medication. She'd been able to stop it. So,
wow.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Let's have a chat about your webinar. What's this webinar that you've got coming up?
Okay, so this is one I'm looking at helping mums who are starting out in business. So I'm going to go through, answering 3 major questions that mums often have, and that's how can I start in business when I don't have any experience?
Yep.
It's about I'm not an expert. And I think that's a thing when a lot of people start in business. That's like, but I'm not an expert. You go through this imposter syndrome. So I'll be covering that. And also technology. If you're starting an online business, there's so much out there. And I know that as a female and a mum, and you're trying to juggle everything that's going on, I've been rocking in my chair in tears, wanting to smash my computer because I didn't understand. So I'm going to go through a couple of the myths and help them sort of realise that they can actually start their own business, whatever that is. And I do have an online program that takes people through an 8-week process of getting clarity about what they want to do and starting to make money in that 8 weeks. So very, very excited about being able to launch that.
How exciting. So when does that actually launch?
Well, I'm going to, as long as I can get the webinar all happening, I'm launching that through a Facebook group. There's an entrepreneur's one that I'm in that has nearly 500,000 people.
Yep.
I'll be launching that webinar tomorrow night so that I can then look at bringing on people and helping them through with coaching as well through that initial startup period and supporting them ongoing. So very, very excited.
All right. Well, what I'd love to do is because if people want to get in touch with you, just because by the time people listen to this, it'll probably be weeks prior that we've actually recorded it. So
yeah.
So if people just want to get in touch with you because they're interested in coaching, can we plug some websites or some social media contacts below?
Yeah, absolutely. And they can find me at kateherford.com.au, and that's KATEHERFORD. .com.au, and I'm on both Instagram and Facebook under that name as well. But I'll send you through some details, and if anyone wants to click on the link and jump on the webinar, I'll share that with you so that they can do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Awesome, Kate. Thank you. So what we're going to do, we'll finish off the way I finish off with everyone. So if you had one piece of advice for women that are wanting to launch a business, regardless of the business, what would that piece of advice be?
Wabi Sabi. And people are going to go, what? It's a Japanese term that relates to imperfection. And this is something I really want people to embrace, is that it doesn't matter what our journey is. Everybody has imperfections, and it's that which will attract people to you in order to start your business. And it's about being vulnerable and, really acknowledging that your experience, someone else can learn from it, and there's an audience out there. And it's about just doing it, like having a go. You will only get experience by doing, and you'll gain confidence through that experience. And it's about just doing it. And I know that for a lot of people, that's hard. And I've been through a journey of, imposter syndrome and all that sort of thing too. And that's why in this program, I really want to support women through that, to simply take action and do it, and you'll learn as you go. You don't have to be perfect to get started. It's those imperfections that we have that will actually help us grow our business.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you liked the content, please make sure you support the show by giving a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications so you are the first to know when a new show is released. If you are interested in having me present a speaking presentation in your enterprise, sporting club, or event, please send me an email. Link is below in the description. Thanks once again. You've been amazing to last this long, and join me again on the next episode.